So we're going to come to you guys for questions very soon. I'm just going to go through a quick round here with everyone on really looking at the 6 keys to success that I actually capture in the first chapter. And in that, and Rati just also touched on this, if you on the dais can comment on which of these you really embrace more than others, or all of them. So clearly passion. Passion is essential. Passion to succeed, passion to excel, passion in the cause that you work for. Then that ambition is not necessarily bad. Many of the contributors actually talk about how ambition became a driver for excellence. That ambition in itself, as long as it's not bad ambition where you want to trample on competition around you, but you use it as a compass to guide yourself to excel, is important. Humility is a hallmark of success. Many of the women, in fact, dare I say all of them, talk about the humility of recognizing what they did not have, building teams around them, giving credit where it was deserved. Integrity, you just heard that from Shaheen. And that there are no shortcuts to hard work. You heard from Shireen the hours that she continues to put in. And in fact, I would say that that's a common trait across the book. And then, only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. The ability to fail, to recognize failure, not let it get you down, and then move ahead, learning from that failure. A common trait across all the essays. So these were some of the keys to success, the gleanings that I share with you in that opening chapter. But now over to all of you. So Shireen?
I think passion is extremely important, to just feel a strong sense of ownership for whatever it is that you do, for the choices that you make. I think perseverance is critical, because in life, very often what you expect may not happen and may not follow the timeline that you have in mind. But as long as you continue to believe in what the eventual goal is, I think perseverance is the key to being able to ultimately get to that goal. I think what's also been significant as far as my own story is concerned is versatility. And I'll share an incident with you. I started my career in 2000, and in 2001 I moved to CNBC and I started anchoring and producing my shows and so on and so forth. And I was doing most of the market programming, which means that I was on air during the market hours between 9 and 4 o'clock. And then the management decided to move the headquarters from Delhi to Bombay in 2006. And in 24 hours I was told that, you know, if you're not going to move, and I was very clear that I didn't want to move to Bombay. So they said, if you're not going to move, well, then the market programming goes. And at that point in, you know, at my and stage in my career, I thought, well, this is the end of the world, you know. What am I going to do? And I'm the primetime morning anchor, and I'm never going to be able to sort of get past this and so on and so forth. But that actually gave me the opportunity to look at things that I'm now much more deeply connected and interested in. So it gave me the opportunity to look at policy. It gave me the opportunity to look at politics. I started the first political show on CNBC TV 18, which was co-anchored by Karan Thapar and myself. We brought MJ Akbar on board and we did another political program. We started a whole bunch of shows based on public policy, which again is something that I'm deeply interested in. And so the larger message really is, and you know, when they say that God opens, you know, when somebody shuts the door, God opens a window, I think you need to approach life in that fashion and not see something that's being taken away with you as the end of the world, but perhaps as an opportunity to start something afresh. And I think that's something that I've learned from my father as well, because I'm a warrior and my father is not, and that's what he's taught me is that it's going to be okay. You just need to keep at it, and you know, things will work themselves out. Maybe not today, but tomorrow or eventually. So I think perseverance, passion, versatility, and just having the ability to connect the dots when the picture looks hazy is what I would think you know, are integral to being able to achieve the kind of success that you need to.
Nirupama, you talked about learning, and you know, the humility piece also comes through in a lot of the messages that the women talk about. is that it's a journey of continuous learning. It's the humility to recognize we don't know it all. But which of these sort of traits had more resonance for you?
I think all of the traits that you mentioned are vital in my understanding to your progress as a human being in life, and I don't just mean as a woman. I think these are universal qualities that inspire people everywhere in whatever situations they're placed in. But I would, like Shine just said, about the importance of perseverance, the importance of passion, the importance of focus and determination. You spoke about surround sound, and I think you really need to cut out the surround sound, the white noise, when you decide that you are going to achieve something or you're going to complete some task that has been set for you. The other aspect that I found as I grew as an individual in the profession that I was in, is that you should not be too risk averse. I know in the bureaucracy, being risk averse is sort of built into your DNA. But I can just give you an example. And you spoke about the men out in the professional environment that have been instrumental in your progress. And I didn't mention them earlier, but I'd like to take two cases. One is Mr. Jaswant Singh, who had the confidence to make me the first woman spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs. I mean, this was something that no woman had done before me, and he had the confidence to decide that here was a woman who should take on that post. And the other person I remember with great affection and admiration is Foreign Secretary Ambassador J.N. Dixit, who again had the confidence to make me India's first woman High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, from where I went on to be the first ambassador to China. So you do need that kind of, support also. I'm not saying everything happens just, you're not just born, as Topsy said in Uncle Tom's Cabin. And you don't just grow, as it were. You grow because of certain, crucial inputs that happen at certain points along the way. But when it comes to not being risk averse, I remember when I was spokesperson, the ministry, the spokespersons before me had never done live television briefings except during Kargil, when you had a panel of army officers and the spokesperson of the External Affairs Ministry give daily briefings. But these were briefings on a regular basis which would go live on television, and you would have to be prepared to answer every question that came your way. And I'm happy to say that I became a kind of pioneer as a woman, and that the men who followed me who became spokespersons after me, kept up with it. So I feel very, in a sense, happy that as far as India's public diplomacy was concerned, I was able to, in a sense, set a course and change the direction. So I want to say that in that sense, this is when you believe that there is need to do something, I think you have to cut out the surround sound, you have to cut out the white noise around you and say you're going to do it, and it's not so bad as people think it is. It will work, and it has worked. So that's just an example. And the other thing is compassion. Humility, yes, is very important. And I always thank my mother particularly, because I think she must have been a Confucian in her earlier life, because she was so particular about responsibility, about loyalty, about humility, of being anchored in the right way. I owe a lot to her for that. And I think as mothers, we need to do that with our children. Let's not forget that most of us, have that obligation also. So, I mean, as I mentioned, these qualities, passion, perseverance, determination, focus, humility, being daring in a sense, being, that daring do, as it were. You need that also if you want to really achieve your dreams.
And I must congratulate you for that great risk you took as spokeswoman, because I remember what were really very boring briefings suddenly came alive for many of us. And I'm sure it sprung from your firm belief in your ability to deliver, because gosh, that must have been a big risk when you took it. And wouldn't you agree, Shreen? I mean, suddenly we had a lot more fun when we had Nirupama as spokeswoman than what we used to get before.
I remember, you know, at the SARC summit in Kathmandu in early 2002, it was not just facing, you know, our Indian media, and somehow the Indian media and us, we worked very well together, but when you're thrown in the midst of the Pakistani media, and some of the Bangladeshi media, I mean, it can be quite a challenge, I remember.
Well, I've no wonder you have this huge Twitter following. Yeah. So, Kiran?
Yeah, so I think, you know, all the success factors and qualities that you talked about are important, and certainly you've sort of attributed ambition to me as one of the important success factors. I think, you know, when I look at the whole concept of ambition, it's really a kind of a mindset or a determination to succeed. I mean, that's what ambition is about. You just want to make sure that, you know, if you've taken the decision, you want it to succeed, and you'll do everything that it takes to succeed. So that's, to me, is really what ambition is about. But in order to do that, like what Shireen said, you need passion. You need that, you know, perseverance, endurance. I always say that, you know, entrepreneurship is an endurance test. And I think you need that. And then I think you of course need, you know, a sense of purpose, which is really about, you know, in my case it's about a humanitarian sense of purpose. I want to make a difference to global healthcare. But I think everybody who's on this path of doing something on your own, or you want to make a difference, I think you need to basically challenge yourself, and you have to have a sense of purpose. So to me, that's extremely important. And, you know, I think integrity is such an important part of that sense of purpose. I think you have to be honest about your sense of purpose. And if you are honest about that sense of purpose, I think integrity is a very integral part of that. Thank you.
Well said.